Andrew in Frankfurt, Germany writes to me, "Hi, Paul. Hey, Andrew. I have noticed that in order to have the best listening experience, that there is a peak or an optimal volume where it sounds the best. Not meaning that the volume is more suitable, but that in that range it produces the best quality. I don't listen to my music terribly loud, but this peak volume is slightly too low for my taste. Is this a defect with my system, or is this the limitation of human hearing? Is it more likely that this is a result of my speakers, amplifier, or others?" That's a tough question to answer from afar without hearing your system, because it could be a combination of all of that. Let's talk about optimal volume levels for a moment. I have long been an advocate that every track, every room, and every system has an optimal volume level when played back. So if we just take track A, whatever it is, that track in that environment has an optimal listening level. If it's too low in volume, you're not going to get the dynamics and the real feel, the life out of it. If it's too loud, the images get too big, like the singers, it gets big, it distorts the image. And if it's just right, then it's perfect. Now, if I put in a different pair of speakers, that might change. I might have to have a slightly different level in order to achieve that same level, though it will be close given a decent set of speakers and a decent amplifier. Where we get into trouble is sometimes, and I see this more often with amps and preamps and electronics, you crank it up to the right level and it's a little hard and it's a little bright. That's a problem with your amplifier, generally. And it is not an uncommon problem. A real indicator for me of a great piece of electronics, assuming that you already have great speakers, is its ability to play at just about any level without really changing its character, without this effect of it getting bright hard. And it may be too big. If I turn it up too loud, as I said, it sounds a bit unnatural, where the singers are too big, the instruments are too big, and the consequences that I've talked about many times before of what happens when we get the wrong volume level. But that said, I shouldn't hear harshness. I shouldn't hear those things. And let me expand just a little bit on that. When I say the perfect volume level, let's say that on my dial, I've turned it to 38, okay? 38 and that's giving me, for that track, the perfect level. And that's just me sitting there. Now, all of a sudden, a tour comes through, and there's 3 people, and they all crowd into the room, and I'm listening to it. It's unlikely that that level that I have is going to be sufficient. I'm going to need to turn it up just to hear. Why? Well, because the actual level in the room has gone down. It's absorbed by those bodies. Maybe it's 4 people or 5 people, whatever that number is. I'm going to have to turn it up a little bit to hit that optimal volume. And that's because of changes in the room. But imagine if you have an amp problem to where when you reach a certain point, it starts sounding hard and bright. Well, if you have to then adjust it louder to make up for more people in the room, it's then going to sound the right level, but it's going to be hard and bright. So it certainly could be your electronics. It could be your speaker. I don't know what good advice to give you. I thought I turned that off. That's my buddy Doug Goldberg. So that's a tough one. The only thing I can recommend is for you to borrow somebody else's amplifier or electronics and see if it changes, because it could even be the room, but there are just too many variables. So, all right. Wish I had a better answer for you, but maybe that'll give you some some clues. Okay? All right. Thanks for the question, and I'll talk to you later.